Hey guys, welcome back to Puffalato, and welcome back to Cafe Enchanté. I am still feeling very iffy about Drami right now. I still don't like the way that he worded it. Last episode he was like, oh, like Ignis, like you're telling Ignis to change. Ignis is strong, like he's supposed to be strong, like that's who he is. And I'm like, no, that's not who he is. That's just a part of him, you know? It's a facet of him. But whatever. We're going to get started, and I'm pretty sure we're on a choice, so yeah, here we go. It's weird because these both kind of say the same thing that I wanted to say in the first place, which is basically just he's not just strong, he's also Ignis, you know. I feel like Drami won't respect it if we say like, oh, well, we can't leave it alone. I feel like if we're like, oh, well, Ignis doesn't want this, then he might accept it better. So let's say Ignis doesn't want this. Drami, I'm not so sure that Ignis wants things to stay as they are. He doesn't want to kill anyone. He doesn't want anyone to kill anyone. That's why he's accepted this fate. I think that's what he desires. Drami, if you really think of Ignis as your bro, I need you to cooperate with us. If we leave him alone and he ends up going on a rampage and kills someone, the Ignis you know and love will completely fall apart, and I'm not sure we'll get him back. I tried my best to persuade him, but he seemed unconvinced. Oh god, I thought he like hit her. I was like, yo! He reached his emotional breaking point, taking his anger out on a nearby table. I'm so confused as to what he's like angry about. Like, we're both on the same side. We both want Ignis to like stay as Ignis, you know? Vow? The second I asked, Drami cut himself off. Perhaps he realized how irate he had become and that he hurried to cover his mouth. I feel like this is gonna be me just hypothesizing and my hatred of Drami all added up into one. But I feel like Drami like kind of just showed his true colors there by accident, where like he's like getting so angry over something, like even though both of us are on the same side, he makes it sound like we're not on the same side. And so I feel like all he cares about is Ignis and no one else matters. I think that's kind of like what his thought process is. But I don't know why. Like, is he in love with Ignis? And like that's the reason why he's like salty? I don't know. See, like even him saying that, it feels like it's kind of like a jab at her, being like, oh, well, it's meaningless to like say anything to you, like, you know? I'm so weirded out by him. Ugh. I was flabbergasted. I've never seen Drami so worked up before. But it came as no surprise, given how much he idolized Ignis's strength. I suppose it was an understandable reaction. Still, both Drami and I cared deeply about Ignis. That much was undeniable, but our opinions for how he should proceed differ so much. If Ignis had overheard our conversation, what would he have said? Please don't show Ignis standing behind the wall. Okay, good. Fuck, I need to do Ignis's voice again. I always need to like prep myself. There I was, laying on my bed without much to do. Everything that Minotaur and my uncle said played, repeated in my head. Oh, there we go. That sentence is weird. The lies, the setup. I wondered how many times I replayed that scene to myself. But when I gave it some thought, even the dumbest, most knuckle-headed beasts I fought had never gone so cuckoo that they blacked out. I've had my fair share of fights, probably even more than thought. More than I thought, maybe? But it never occurred to me until now. Guess I started to realize how much of a total moron I've been this whole time. Can I just say, Ignis's, like, when he's, like, talking softly, wow, the drawl, it's so good. Like, it gets that rumble and everything. I'm just admiring the voice actor's work. Wow, amazing. Anyways, no, the real question was... Oh, Ignis. I felt like a stranger in my own body. At any minute, I could lose my sanity and murder someone, friend or foe. That, to me, was scarier. I could attack anyone, as opposed to someone who killed intentionally. I'm a killer. I have killed. Other beasts, no less. Even worse, my kin, the firewolves, who I tried to protect. And Koltone. She heard it all.
こういうベスティアでの俺の立場ってのが話に上がった時点で避けられると思ってたぜ。けどお前、あんまそういうの気にしねえんだな。一応隣にいる俺は殺し殺されの世界のトップなんだぜ。なんだよ、その微妙な顔。
Well, be that as it may, you've kept true to your creed, which means you've never killed anyone, right? I just don't get how someone can hold any fear or hatred towards you for something you haven't even done. Oh god, I forgot she said that. Seems like I've lied to her about my vow never to kill a long, long time ago. It strains me to entertain the thought.
くそ、何バカ正直にここへ戻ってきてんだ、俺は。
Let's go home, Ignis.
戻るなら、お前らだけで戻れ。俺は。
I should have pushed her away back then. No, even before that, before she heard the truth. Koltone's warmth. I forgot about this picture too. Ugh. I cringed to myself, thinking that I might have taken her kindness for granted this whole time. I used these two monstrous hands, stained by the blood of who knows who, to touch her. All of the comforting memories that I've had of Koltone were being overwritten by fearful ones. What if, on that day, at that moment, I had turned into a monster and I had pointed my fangs at Koltone? Once I started down this rabbit hole, there was no turning back, because I had already taken a dear friend's life with my hands. There's no guarantee that I wouldn't do the same to Koltone. And yet...
あいつもあいつでおかしいだろ。なんであんな話を聞いた直後に俺なんかの手を取った。
Why wouldn't she fear that I would kill her the moment she touched me? Why would she allow this bloodthirsty monster to sit inside of her cafe?
くそ、もう全部が意味わかんねえよ。
My head was ready to burst, packed to the brim with revelations and confusion. As I let my emotions get the better of me once more, the door swung open. I shot up, just in time to see.
なんだ、てめえがカヌス。ノックぐらいしやがれってな。
ここは我の部屋でもある。普段はノックなどしていないだろう。何をそんなにも意気消沈している。いつものお前ならば、アルムムたちを片っ端からぶちのめせばいい話だと好戦的に笑っていただろ
う。うるせえ。てめえに俺の何がわかるってんだ。
そうだな。何もわからぬよ。我とお前では生まれも年も立場も何もかもが違う。
Am I crazy? Am I reading into, like, is Kanasa getting into a fight with him?
だが、お前が急によそよそしくなったことで、琴音が落ち込んでいるのはわかる。
Ugh, Kanas, every single time, always looking out. He hit me right where it hurts. I couldn't even muster up the energy to howl.
なの、仕方ねえだろ。自分がいつ周囲の奴らをぶっ殺すかわからねえ化け物。そんな真実を突きつけられて。
I shouldn't laugh, but it's kind of funny. He's like, oh, I'm just a little upset, you know, found out I'm a murderer and everything. Like,
一番あっさり死にそうなあいつに平然と近づけると思うのか。
イグニス、それは言い訳にならん。彼女の身を案じながら、今まさにお前は彼女を傷つけているではないか。わざわざお前のために用意した料理まで手をつけず。
that's true, yeah.
それは。
お前の杞憂はわかる。気にせず普段通りに接しろとは言わん。だがせめて琴音に己の本心を打ち明けろ。このままでは琴音は沈み込む一方だぞ。お前は彼女にあんな顔をさせるためにここに戻ってきたのではあるまい。
Those were Kanas' parting words before he left the room. I love how Kanas just came in and was like, can you stop being like this? And then he just leaves. They're like, okay.
おせっかい首なし野郎が説教するためだけに来たのかよ。
Yes.
んなこと言われなくたって分かってんだっつうの。
Just as I had muttered this to myself. By this point, I was growing resentful of how my stomach could howl almost as loud as I could, even now. Well, I guess I did skip breakfast, even if it's right in front of me. Can't be helped, I suppose.
待てよ。
That's weird. I only skipped one meal. Why am I this hungry? I mean,
俺はここまで食欲なんてあったか。
when I first met the old man, no matter how exhausted I was, a single meal was enough to satisfy me, but it's weird that his, like, thirst for blood links up with, like, his hunger in general. I sat alone in my room, without much ado. Koro was laying comfortably in my arms as I stared at a faint stain on my wall. This feels odd. Normally, at this hour, I start getting anxious if I'm not doing something. It was better to close up shop at this point. My only reservation was thinking about a customer who wanted a cup of coffee. But I just can't. I didn't want to think about the leftover food, so I ran back to my room. The one who's hurting the most is supposed to be Ignis, right? At the very least, I wanted to get my body up and moving. So I got to my feet and pulled a book from my shelf that Grandpa had left behind. Maybe I can learn a little bit about Ignis and the beasts, but... Greek mythology, ancient Egyptian mythology, Norse mythology, biblical mythology. There's so many mythologies involving animal races, it was hard to pin down. Of course, Animals aren't like fairies, angels, or demons, where their existence is limited to a certain texts or regions. In that case, what if I narrow it down to mythologies that include werewolves, like Ignis? While flipping through the pages, I heard someone rap on the door. Boom, chicka, boom. No, I'm just kidding. Huh? The force of the knock startled me. I set the book down on my bed, leaving the page open next to Kororo. Come in! I signaled my consent for them to enter as I rushed to the door. Oh! I knew it was you, Ignis. I thought he had been completely avoiding me, but now here he stood. It was impossible to contain my confusion. At the same time, now that he was here, I forced myself to act as normal as possible, so I began to speak. What's the matter? Did you need anything? Oh, let me guess. Are you hungry? You didn't eat any of your breakfast. I'll fix you some food right now, so stay put.
ちげえ。いや、腹は減ってるが。お前のとこに来た理由はそれじゃねえ。
Oh. Ignis took a deep breath, and with an uncharacteristically solemn voice, he said,
悪かった。何の説明もなくお前を避けて。
Did he just apologize? And this is like amazing. This is amazing. The communication is there. Oh, great stuff.
それから、お前がわざわざ作ってくれた飯も残しちまった。
Oh, it's okay. You don't have to apologize for that. I know you were confused. Besides, you were upset, weren't you? So it's...
それでも、今詫びを入れとかなきゃならねえと思った。明日の遠征の結果がどうなろうと、俺はもう二度とアンシャンテには来ねえからな。
No! What? Me and Colton have the same reaction every time. What the fuck? No! What? His words took me by complete surprise. Wait, what do you mean?
そのままの意味だよ。俺がここにいたら危ねえだろう
が。But that's why we're going tomorrow, to find a solution to this whole fiasco. Didn't you hear everybody object to the idea of you leaving Enchante? That it's out of the question? You've managed to contain your rampage up to this point, so you can...
簡単に解決できる問題なわけねえだろ。イルも言ってただろうが、俺の根幹にあるものは抑えられねえ。俺にとってのあの本能はあって当たり前のものなんだよ。今となっちゃそれが嫌ってほどにわかる。俺だって好きでこんなこと言ってんじゃねえ。けどな、振り返ってみりゃ確かにここ最近の俺はおかしいんだよ。
What do you mean, funky?
ゆうべアルムムと戦った後、俺は奴らの流した血の匂いで一瞬だが意識が途切れたんだ。
Is that...
ああ、目の前が真っ赤に染まって意味わかんねえ衝動に襲われた。あの感覚には覚えがあんだよ。あの時ビニトルの縄張りを襲われて正気を失って周りにいる連中全員を皆殺しにした時と同じもんだ。ことね、俺はな、一歩間違えりゃそのままあの場にいたお前をぶっ殺してたかもしれねえんだよ。
Ignis was barking. He bit his lip to contain his fury.
こんなことをする可能性がわずかでもあんなら、俺は二度とこのアンシャンテに来ねえ。そんだけ伝えに来た。じゃあな。
What the fuck, Ignis? You can't just be like, oh yeah, I'm never coming back. Peace, bitch. And then just walk away. He ended his remark, spinning on his heel to leave my room. What? Oh, picture get. Oh shit. Oh no. Oh God. Wait! I quickly grabbed his hand, hoping it would stop him. The moment I did so, however, Ignis yanked his arm away from me. It was like he was afraid of touching me. Oh.
話せよ。
No!
話せっつってんだ。
Oh, great. Now they're screaming at each other. No! In the face of Ignis's petulant resistance, I too resist like a nagging child. I understand what you're trying to say, Ignis. In the worst case scenario that your rampage flares up, you don't want to inadvertently hurt any of us, right? I think it's understandable to feel that way. If I was in your position, I'd probably have the same inclination. But still, one thing's for sure. I never want to contemplate what Enchanté would be without you. I knew I was being selfish. But I couldn't simply let him leave, not after everything. The idea was unthinkable.
お前な。
The veins on Ignis' forehead bulged.
いい加減現実見ろよ。どんだけ俺に夢を見てんだ。俺はな、お前が今掴んでるその手で殺してたんだぞ。かつて縄張りを襲った魔獣たちを、仲間のビニトルを、ダチを、理性をなくして一匹残らず。無意識だとしてもそれを隠してお前に不殺なんて大嘘吹いてたクソ野郎なんだよ。前にお前は言ってたじゃねえか。俺が不殺だから怖くねえって。だが俺は実際殺してた。だったら。
But I never saw it.
Huh?
I never saw you do it. I never see you kill anyone, not a soul. So you can't expect me to hate you or to be afraid of you.
この
My voice was quivering. If I were to let loose, a deluge of tears would come streaming down my face. But I desperately held all of it back. After all, I'm the one tormenting Ignis with my personal feelings. Crying now, when he was at his most vulnerable, would be unfair. I would only be bringing him down while his hands were full from his crisis of self. I'm an ordinary human being. After hearing everything that happened, I can't lie and say that the thought doesn't frighten me a little. But still, the Ignis I know is better than that. He's kind, he's gentle, and he's you. I can still hold your hands like this.
なへりくつ。
I don't care. The least you could do is not assume. Until after tomorrow, I don't want to contemplate what happens in the worst case scenario. Can't you see? I want you here, Ignis.
なんでこの後に及んでそんなことが言えんだよ。お前を傷つけてからじゃん。遅えって言ってんのに。
Despite my heartfelt, desperate pleas, as I should have expected, Ignis was stubborn and his heart was set. It was tragic. It was painful. But I didn't notice until now. Kororo was sitting on the bed, staring at the open book in the corner of my eye. So wait, what? What does that mean? Okay, we're gonna stop here. Wow, what a drama-filled episode. It's been such a time. I feel so bad. I know Ignis wants to stay. He really likes Kotone, and they make it, like, very obvious in his route. But, like, I get it. Like, if I was, like, a danger to society, I wouldn't want to be in society either, you know? So, God. What a rough time. Next episode. I don't even know what's gonna happen. Are we gonna read the book? Is Kororo gonna be like a scholar or something? Like, I don't know what to expect, but we'll find out next time.